Hello, high school youth peoples. This is Matthew coming to you from a small circle in the corner of your screen. I am stepping in to lead high school, and occasionally I make videos of the youth lessons so parents and other people can know what we're learning. And it gives me a chance to practice for my sermons. So lately, we have been in the book of Psalms. We're going to be actually in Psalms all spring and summer, well into September, because, well, there's 150 Psalms. And this week, we're in Psalms chapter 8. But before I get into it, let me make an announcement. Next Tuesday, April 29th, is small group activity night. And so small group leaders are planning different activities just for their small group. This will be a night where there's no message or worship or anything. It's just time to have fun and bond. Some small groups are meeting off campus. All the information is going to go out in an email. Back to the Psalms. So for this Psalm series, we are in a reading plan. Last week was Psalms chapter 1 through 12. This week is Psalms chapter 13 to 24. If you're not on this reading plan, I would get on it quickly. Parents, anyone's welcome. It's something we do through the YouVersion Bible app. Here's directions on how to get a part of the group. You have to add me as a friend, and then I add you to the group. Just pause this screen if you need to make it happen. Okay, this week we're in Psalms chapter 8, which, if you know, the Psalms are, well, it's a songbook. And so let me play some of the music of Psalms 8. This is a rendition. I'll play listen to the whole thing, but it's a reminder that when we look at the book of Psalms, many of these songs were sung and put to instruments, and Psalms 8 is surely the case. The inscription at the beginning of the songs says it's a Gath or a Gittith, a psalm of David. And let's just see kind of where this fits within the first book in the Psalms. There's actually 5 books in the book of Psalms. The first book, the first 14 chapters kind of have this structure. Psalms 1 and 2 are the opener to all of the books of Psalms. Very important Psalms. Psalms 1 is a Torah psalm, meditating on the law of the Lord, delighting in it. And Psalms 2 is all about the Messianic king that we either oppose or take refuge in. Those themes play out through the whole book of Psalms. Chapters 3 through 7 are King David's difficult past, where he goes through hardship and cries out to God. Skipping to 9 to 14, those are chapters about the poor and the afflicted who, like David, are weak and need to cry out to God. Psalms 8 is sandwiched between chapter 3 to 7 and 9 to 14 to be also a psalm of the weak finding strength in God. I'm going to show you the structure of this psalm. It's 9 verses, and I put it up in the Hebrew just as a reminder to us that, hey, the Bible's not written in English. The Old Testament is written in Hebrew, and it's cool to see the original language. Verse 1 and 9 are very similar wording. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. This opens the psalm and it closes the psalm. That's called an inclusio. And that opener, O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth, is saying that God is king over everything. You have set your glory above the heavens, is what it says in verse 1. God is above everything and rules everything. And then the psalm in chapter 2 starts talking about, well, small babies and infants that God establishes strength through and defeats his foes through. And verses 3 to 4 then talk about humans that are insignificant, yet God uses these humans to rule his world. That's the structure. Now let's jump into kind of the specifics. Like I said, verse 1, O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. God is ruler over the universe. And we'll see in the psalm that God uses weak things to delegate his rule through babies and insignificant humans. Okay, check it out. In verse 2, it says, out of the mouth of babies and infants you have established strength because of your foes, to still the enemy and the avenger. Babies are God using something weak to rule. Remember, this is all sandwiched in these Psalms, in these chapters of Psalms where David and the poor and afflicted are crying out. Weak people are crying out to God. Psalms 8 is about these weak people being granted authority to rule. What is weaker and more helpless than a baby? Not much else. And this weakness is what God will use to rule the world. Jesus was born in a manger as a weak, poor baby, and look, he became the king of the world. He entered Jerusalem. He entered his rule on a donkey, not a sign of power, not a war horse. And Jesus said things like, blessed are the poor in spirit, and that the meek shall inherit the earth. God uses weak things to show his power so that we don't boast. Paul said it like this in 2 Corinthians. My grace is sufficient for you, is what God said, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Let me just read that again. God's power is made perfect in weakness. Paul goes on, therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. It's like Paul recognized that the more he acknowledged weakness, the more of Christ's power rests on him. Because when we acknowledge weakness, when we step into weakness, it gives room for God to work in a way that's not from us, but it's his strength. That's what this psalm is about. Like weak babies, God also cares for and uses insignificant humans. That's what verse 3 and 4 say. When I look at your heavens, the works of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is man? What is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Compared to all of the glory and beauty and complexity of the universe, what are humans that God is mindful of them, that God notices us and cares for us? Jesus said in Luke 12 that God knows every hair on our head. In Psalm 139, it says that God is well acquainted with all of our ways. He knows our thoughts from afar. He understands even what we're thinking. He pays great attention to us. He understands how we're uniquely made, formed in our mother's wombs. He understands our inmost being that he created. Psalm 23 says we're his sheep that he guides to quiet waters and green pastures and through dark valleys. He is constantly tending and caring for us like sheep. He's the God who sees, and like it says in Genesis 16:13, he feeds us and clothes us like sparrows and lilies, like Jesus said in Luke 12. God is our caretaker. He cares for us. He's mindful of us. He's a good steward of us, humans. And in return, humans are supposed to be a good steward of his world. This is the mandate we get in verses 5 and 6. You have made him, humans, a little lower than the heavenly beings and crowned him with glory and honor. Humans have been crowned, given this royal mandate with glory and honor to have dominion, verse 6, over the works of your hands. You've put all things under his feet. This is Genesis chapter 1 language being repeated in Psalm chapter 8. See, the Genesis 1:26 sounds very similar. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have, there's this word, dominion, over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air, heavens, over the livestock, over all the earth, every creeping thing, things that creep on earth. Humans are the top of the food chain of creation on planet Earth. And we're here not to consume for ourselves, but to be a good steward of, well, the earth in relationships and money and time and resources. God is a good steward of us. He's mindful of us. He cares for us. He notices us. And we're supposed to be mindful and caring and noticing and tending to the world in a likewise manner. We're supposed to be his representatives, imaging his care for us to the world. So that word image really means to exercise carrying rule over the earth. It's this picture that we are the kings and queens, princes and princesses that are, well, royal in the sense that we belong to God, ruling carefully over the world. Here's some application from this psalm. Rule mindfully and full of care, just like God rules you, tends you mindfully and full of care. And to rule with humility, not false strength. Makes me ask a few questions. What in your life has God entrusted you to rule, to steward? And are you doing it mindfully and carefully? The second question would be, where are you finding strength? Is it in yourself? Is it in your chase of the world and what it deems as success? Or are you admitting weakness before the Lord and finding strength in Him? That's all for now, folks. If you made it through this whole thing, God bless you. Excited to deliver this message Tuesday, April 22nd. Peace out.